Greetings, sentient beings. This broadcast is not intended for children. There will be strong language and adult themes.
Always. Oh, wait. Why am I singing Always Look on the Bright Side of Life? So, what is this your recovery day for?
You know, Sloth Girl used to sing that every time on the way to her cancer treatments.
Oh.
Always look on the bright side of death.
Yep. But just when she knew she didn't have long left, she was singing that song every week.
Just before your turn.
Yeah, well, this is my hoping I have enough time to recover from my family reunion before I have to head out to the Ark protest. Because my autistic social battery has really been getting pushed.
Mm.
Really, my tolerance for idiots online has been getting pushed.
Yeah, well, this is me doing 3 out-of-state trips in 6 weeks.
Well, they're getting better idiots now.
I mean, it's pretty easy for me to take 3 out-of-state trips in 6 weeks, depending on what state we're talking about. I mean, I could take 3 out-of-state trips in 1 day, as long as I go to the same state each time.
Well, yeah, if I was only going to like Eau Claire, it would be okay, but you know, each of these is averaging, well, the first 2 were about 350 miles each.
It's like a 9-hour drive for me just to get out of the state.
So in the side chat, Deep Space Annex has left us a text wall. And there's Unfinished Journey.
Well, in the immortal words of whoever sang it, why do we build the wall, my children, my children?
Not familiar with that one.
It's from a musical called Hadestown.
Ah.
Couldn't tell you the plot of it, but I do know the philosophy tube. Lady, before she transitioned, did a cover of it. Hello, Godless Granny.
Hello.
Hi, Granny.
With luck, I will see you next Sunday, but it might can't be entirely sure because I have to attend a wedding in a different state. If only we could keep all politicians out. And all of us, and I don't know why I thought of a line from the book Mostly Harmless where I forget which character says it. It says, do you know it was Trisha McMillian tells Arthur, it's like, do you know they reintroduced the death penalty for insurance companies' directors? To which Arthur replies, really? For what crime? And the response is, what do you mean for what crime?
That's a bit prophetic, wasn't it?
Well, listen. Luigi Mangione was not a state agent carrying out an execution. Even if the United Healthcare CEO was, by every definition, a mass murderer.
Yeah.
I think that's one thing that might be overlooked in his trials. Like, yeah, this United Healthcare CEO didn't murder anyone directly, but he used an AI that he knew wasn't well suited for the task, and he knew would deny claims more often than it accepted them. I have to wonder if that's why I lost United Healthcare as my insurance provider. Because the employer switched healthcare plans.
Well, neither did Charles Manson kill anybody directly.
Now we've got Jinzu, Harmonica Man, Brian Stevens, and Demon Orb.
Sure, Godless Granny, why not jump in?
Okay, well,
Although
Well-
it's not my stream, so I can't.
Yes, jump in.
Granny, I just sent you a link on Blue Sky in case you have the chance to join in.
Well,
And of
Granny
course-
is in the Mid-American chat, I do believe.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't sure.
And of course, my toes really hurt right now because I slipped and fell in some water that I didn't see last night. But
Oh. Now, okay, while the CEO did not directly pull the trigger, isn't this akin to the mob boss who didn't really pull the
I'm
trigger?
hearing a double. I'm hearing.
Someone else too?
Oh wait, no,
I'm not really getting that.
I forgot to mute the YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, that should be a 3-second delay, or at least it is for me. So that is
Usually-
why I turned it off.
Yeah, I usually mute it. I just forgot this time.
Well, Saint Luigi, which I really wish people would not call him that. It's like. And I do think, unfortunately, I think that's going to happen more frequently unless corporate. First of all, some of the AI tech CEOs are really not getting people. My favorite, and I don't know if this is true or not, but apparently one of the Tech Bro CEOs said, that people should be more careful about how they consume water because it's affecting their data centers.
Oh jeez, yeah, I remember
didn't
that one.
hear that one, but yeah.
That one's been taken a little bit out of context, or not necessarily context, but the way it's been restated, it hasn't been quite entirely accurate. But that's the gist of it.
Well, so many places were already having droughts before they built those things.
Well, the thing is, they think people really want. There is some demand for AI. Let's not be honest. I mean, sometimes we like using it.
Yeah, I like using it.
Well, it has some legitimate uses, like in medical and scientific research when they have to pour through tons of data to find patterns. Yeah, that's a practical use for it.
Well, that's machine learning generally.
Actually, well, I have found an issue
which
with
is still AI, but
yeah, I have found one issue with the Grok's thing. It seems to be dick riding for Israel.
oh,
Not
now you got
surprising.
into insulting. I haven't tried to. Well, as soon as Blue Sky gave me group chats, I'm like, I'm not going to do Twitter anymore.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting playing around with that. Basically, it's saying is Israel doing a genocide? It's giving a definitive no. Although if it was programmed properly to avoid any kind of legal issues, it should actually be kind of both sidesing it, just giving general facts they're under investigation or criminal investigation. These groups say that they have, they say they haven't because of yada yada. So they should have given that kind of response, but instead it gave a no.
Well, couldn't they just have made it one of those things that, Grok says, I shouldn't be commenting on that topic?
Yes, or something along those lines.
I mean, that's the way the Chinese do it with their political set of topics. But honestly, if I were Chinese, if I were looking for the U.S. to get something to waste their time on, I would say, yeah, whoever controls AI is going to have the equivalent of owning a nuclear weapon.
And interestingly enough, you can't even actually convince it to flip its position. You know how you can usually talk a AI into flipping its position on something. It will not flip its position at all. It'll just keep doubling down and actually contradict itself.
Well, keep in mind that Grok doesn't have a position. You're anthropomorphizing it.
Yeah, that's true. Excuse me. Excuse the terminology.
You can usually get to reverse the logic.
Yeah, I mean, I can get Grok. You can probably get Grok to tell you 2 + 2 = 5 if you argue with it enough. Which ignores there are some situations where 2 + 2 will equal 5, and be doing the math correctly, but that's usually dealing with floating point operations in computer science, and it's not. Let's just say it's not really 2. It's 2 and a little bit more.
Though my concern with that kind of response from Brock is that somebody who's going to be less critical of the responses is going to just get that and then run with it.
Hey, now, Grok has been a great material for a lot of my stand-up jokes. My favorite, more recent one being when Grok got put on realfood.gov and helpful individuals asked which fruits and vegetables were healthiest to shove up the rectum.
Yeah. Hey, Ethan. Well, I had a good day. Between my doctor's appointment this morning and doing the stream, I went and took a little nap, and Sage decided to come and lay on me for the first time.
Gordon Shumway just got caught escaping the government facility and just going around trying to get stray cats and show off disclosures. That name seems familiar.
Yeah. I know I've heard the name, but I can't connect it with anything.
So what did you think about Elf Mage?
Melmac? He's kind of furry. He tried to make a comeback in Pog form.
I remember they did a cartoon of it that the whole planet was obsessed with mayonnaise.
And if I remember correctly, the ending of the whole thing ended up the family going into Antarctica.
The ending was a little depressing. Not nearly as depressing as the dinosaurs ending, though.
True.
Of course, the dinosaurs ending is just. I remember, I saw a documentary or something on them, Disney was telling us, you can end the show this way, and they're like, history.
Hello, Granny. Thanks for joining us.
I'm sorry, what?
Thank you for joining us.
Oh, anytime, anytime.
I swear I'm developing a lisp.
That's okay. You'll be useful for artificial intelligence applications. Okay. Sorry, you had to be a computer nerd to get that joke.
I was guessing it was something to the effect of they're going to put my brain in a jar and connect it to the server.
No, Lisp was a early artificial intelligence programming language. Like Prolog.
Hey, Clockwork Rex. Haven't seen you in a while. Or rather, I've seen your streams going up late at night, but...
All right, so I just finished putting my stuff in for the teacher certificate instead of the emergency one. They needed my CPR certification. So that should be done. I'll probably go back to teaching math and computer science next year. So what are you recovering from? It's your recovery day. Oh, recovering from all those trips, right?
Yeah, mostly recovering from my family reunion last week, and that was extremely taxing.
Oh yeah, family can be exhausting.
Well, and I've talked about trying to get them to accept me transitioning, but to be honest, they still haven't come to terms with me being autistic, and they've known that for 2 decades now.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably call my dad again, but the last time he just insisted on using the wrong pronoun, so I just hung up on him. Probably not the right thing, but it's like... He's not going to change his mind, but it's like,
Well, I also found out that apparently I'm not the only one anymore.
trans person or autistic person in your family?
Well, one of my cousins was dating a trans woman and brought her there.
Cool.
And my great nephew, 2 kids. Well, one of them, it wasn't exactly clear, but from what I got, they're presenting now as being non-binary, exploring.
Huh.
And let me guess, your family is you for starting it.
Surprisingly, no one brought that up.
Mm.
Although I'm still pretty sure I'm going to get accused of killing my mother, since they say she doesn't have much time left, and people are going to say that this was the final thing.
You being trans?
Yeah,
How?
because it's been so distressing to her.
But you've been out as trans. How long have you been out as trans to your family? Maybe I'm missing something here.
5 years, but yeah, that doesn't matter.
It's been a long and slow death.
Yeah, one of my sisters is still convinced I'm going to change my mind.
Oh, of course. Any day now.
I was convinced that that was a possibility with Robin when Robin came out, but that was more because of Robin's age. Robin was 19. 19. And so I just figured this is part of the growing up process of searching for who he is. And when he discovers who he is, he'll let me know. And so I just kind of, okay, whatever.
I can see the thought process going through somebody's head.
Well, by 19, it's pretty much set, so. And most people who are transgender don't really change. They've known for a while.
He didn't really, I mean, he suspected, but he didn't really know for sure until he was probably 17, 18. He always knew he was different, but he didn't really know why he was different.
Well, at least he didn't have to learn the word for what he was from
Exactly.
Jerry Springer.
Well, I went through the same thing myself. I mean, when I found out I was asexual, I was in my 50s, and I was like, when people, someone said the word asexual, and I said, "What's that?" And they described what it was, and I went, "Oh, that's what I am."
No,
I just didn't know that was a thing.
asexual is relatively new terminology compared to some of the other ones because, but like transsexual, the former word, transgender, most people know what that is. It's been around for a while. And thank heavens, Trump still keeps bringing it up in relation to sports as if people care about that. Some people do, but it's like, but he's like, oh yeah, it's like the Democrats lost because of trans sports. It's like, no, they didn't. It's like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going. But trans sports is largely settled. It's just most people don't want to accept what the science is. How's Molly Mage?
She's sitting right here, getting her butt squished by my toes, sleeping on her toy.
Well, Athena's sleeping on the chair that, well, apparently I'm only allowed one piece of furniture in the house. Not that there are that many, but it's like once I got a bed frame, as soon as Athena realized, hey, this isn't a sunny spot, this is mine now. And the recliner, well, she likes to nap in the recliner if I'm out here.
Oh, what's mine is mine, what's yours is mine. And if you put it down, it's mine. If I see it, it's mine. If you give it to me, I don't want it.
And if it's in a nice sunny spot, it's no longer yours.
It's very simple for cats. It exists, therefore it's mine. And seriously, Porpoise, have you not realized yet that humans are just cat furniture?
Well, Athena does occasionally crawl up into my lap. Sometimes she'll even take a nap there. In fact, I felt a little guilty earlier when I had to get up to get a pizza and she was on my lap napping, but unfortunately I couldn't leave the pizza in the oven.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Clockwork Rex was in a car accident. So, hope you weren't too seriously injured.
Have you been in the hospital, Clockwork?
Yeah, that's about the only response to it.
Well, today is National Act Like a Kid Again Day.
Well, you're only one young.
You need a day for that?
Evidently.
You're only young once, but you can be emotionally mature forever.
Don't grow up. It's a trap.
Well, at the reunion, I was trying to chaperone two of my nephews, and the two of them said, "No, we need a more adult."
A more adult? What? I wonder what they meant by that.
Well, just they tend to just accept me as interacting more at their level. Although, to be fair, it's a problem I always had raising kids. I have such a total disdain for authority, I can't stand the thought that I might be one.
Oh, is this like... Sounds like the one time I said it's like, there's an adult here. It's like, I resent that implication.
Yeah, really.
No, but I mean, with my job, I have to accept that I am an authority figure. Because to you, I'm a teacher, but to my students, I'm an annoying person trying to get them to do something they don't want to do.
Well, yeah, they're forced to show up every day. They don't want to be there.
Well, I was going to say sometimes I don't want to be there either. And sometimes it's just like, all right, we're just going to get through this for the rest of the year.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that.
I sent Major. Oh.
This morning, I watched Erica's video on, I forget what period of time it was, and she's going through all these different scientists and discoveries and revisions of theology as a result. And after watching the video, I went, shoot, scrapped my whole speech for Ark Encounter and started a new one. Oh, hi, Kaleka.
Well, a few weeks ago, you did bring up a good point in one of your videos. It was, if God doesn't want us having anal sex, next, why did he put it in a erogenous up her ass?
Well, you know what's really funny is I did another one along those lines, for this week's short, and someone said, I hate to have to school you on human physiology, Granny, but the only purpose for the anus is for waste disposal, whereas the penis has a second function. And I said, I hate to school you on human physiology, but the anus has a pleasure spot.
Well, technically, yeah, but in case I ever wind up going to any gay parties, I think I should have tattooed on their exit only. I don't want anybody getting those ideas.
Okay.
Well, my conclusion in my video was that the only sex that God approves of is lesbian sex.
Anyway, here's Deep State Annex's this thing.
Dancing penguins. That's great.
Let's try one more time.
Given the Mormon idea of the afterlife, where God has multiple wives, wouldn't there be a lot of lesbian sex in heaven?
Well, I always figured that just, in the Old Testament, but
No.
since a man
Let's not bring the
has
Old
a
Testament
wife,
into here. We're
concubines
just
and
talking.
everything.
We're just talking about Mormon theology. The Old Testament has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, no.
Well,
In the Old Testament, a man could have a wife and concubines and female servants and all that. So I always figured that, there probably was a lot of lesbian stuff going on.
but there is also a verse that implies that there is no sex in heaven, where it says that people will be like the angels. When the guy asked about, a man was married to a woman and he died leaving no offspring, so his brother took her, and eventually 7 brothers all had her as wife. When they get to heaven, whose wife will she be? And Jesus said, you don't understand. In heaven, there will be no marriage, and people won't be given in marriage. So there's the implication that there will be no sex in heaven.
Right,
Well,
going back to Mormon theology, where spirit children are literally produced the same way regular children are, which brings up the interesting question of, if 1,000 years is but a day in the light of God, how long does pregnancy last? Someone did the math, and it's about 144,000 years. So naturally, produce spirit children. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You finish your thought, and then because I've got a new thought.
To produce spirit children, you have to have sex, but because the Mormon Church, while it doesn't officially allow polygamy to be practiced among its members, still believe it's going to be brought back, and it's still a requirement, according to the doctrine of covenants, for getting to their highest kingdom. So God has a lot of wives. They can't all be kept pregnant, so some of them have to be found in some way to keep busy.
Well, isn't the one man expected to repopulate his entire planet?
Oh, let's see here.
That's why he has a lot of wives.
1,000 years is one day, and 9 months is 273.75 days.
I didn't check the math on it, so.
So it's 273,750 years.
Well, another issue is that all of the unborn that die are supposed to be in heaven, which means that about 80% of all the people in heaven will be unborn, and that means there's going to be far more babies than adults in heaven.
Hunt on just in time to hear about it.
That's why you see all those cherubs,
Well, most pregnancies don't take, so.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting a pretty good crowd out here today.
Listen, I'm pretty sure the Mormons will deny that this ever was their theology if you ask them, especially of someone who didn't grow up in the church, and this would just be like, what are you talking about? Not to mention Mormon theology. Pinning down Mormon theology is like nailing Jello to a wall.
It was the title, Purple. I saw that title this morning and was thinking, I hope there isn't anything wrong with Purple. I hope Purple's okay. And I've got to make sure to watch this one to see if Purple's okay.
Well, that occurred to me, and I did leave in the description that no, it wasn't surgery or anything. It was just trying to recharge my autistic batteries.
Ah, okay. I didn't read that. I just looked at the title.
Yeah, well, I've had already 2 out-of-state trips, so I'm going to have 3 out-of-state trips in 6 weeks here, and I just haven't had a chance to recharge in between, and hoping that I'll be able to hold it together for the Ark Encounter this weekend.
I will not be changing diapers or babysitting in the afterlife.
Yeah.
Well, that's what your sister wives can help you with.
Will anyone have need of diapers? Do bodies have a waste disposal function in the afterlife?
Or in the pre-existence? I have no idea. I didn't think to ask these questions in church.
I've been told we don't. Otherwise, Jesus would need to shit in heaven.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
biblical marriage is one man and as many wives, even concubines as he can afford.
Yep.
And listen, by the time they were getting really weird with this stuff, I was kind of thinking it's like, I was always in the mood. It's like, I hated being drugged to church every Sunday.
Well, as a Catholic, so did I.
Yeah, but you have to sit through 3 hours of it.
I was trying to figure out what the hell the point of it was.
Yeah. Well, actually, porpoise only on special occasions.
Yeah,
My
every
sister-
week.
My sister did request the full Catholic high mass for her wedding, and that was 3 hours.
I mean, I was like, okay, well, God's supposed to be everywhere. Why the hell do I have to go there?
Yeah.
Yes, Angie, purple is okay. Purple's just recharging.
Yep.
Purple is now plugged in.
And keep in
That's my
mind, it's
autistic battery. My surgery is not till November.
Speaking of which, I have an appointment for something on July 22nd.
So I hope people don't feel that that was clickbait. Mostly it was that last night I was still so worn out that I just really didn't have the energy to look things up and try and come up with the topic.
That makes sense.
Why am I now thinking of a Rowan Atkinson clip where he's playing the devil and welcoming people to hell? Oh, no, I'm sorry, there aren't any bathrooms. If you'd read your Bible, you would know that it's damnation without relief. Just, I'm gonna go outside this. I don't know, maybe he just pees down in outer darkness.
Well, see, here's another thing that, you know, if Jesus was so brilliant and everything, couldn't he have at least taught them a better way to build the toilets?
I still think the best one is that if Jesus really was all-knowing, he would have told us germ theory. He would have told his disciples to wash their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah, I keep asking people to show me where in the Bible it can give me the answer to whether or not P equals NP. They just look at me like, what?
Well, no,
I mean-
I agree with Granny. He should have at least told everybody to wash their hands before eating.
I mean, he could have done a lot of things like introduce the basic scientific method.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least tried to explain to them that the thing that made people sick were these tiny little things that they couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
He
apparently
could've-
God came up with a test for gods and then said not to apply it to them.
I mean, it could have even improved the numbering system that the Romans used.
Could have come back every 5 years to update.
Well, you know, that's... I think if God really wants us to all believe, the least he could do is show up once every century.
Yep.
Maybe it's because we forgot to activate the Jesus app.
Oh, that's it.
I thought you were going to say that it was like the Jesus signal, you know, like the bat signal that we have to project it up on the clouds.
No, I was thinking more it's like, activate Jesus on your planet today.
Well,
Enter the
here I
activation
am.
code.
Here I am. See, I'm real. See you in the next 100 years.
Robin came up with a really good one, which is going to be my short for next week, which is that in a lot of mental hospitals, there are people who think that they are Jesus. And the fact is that Jesus has actually returned many times. It's just that every time he comes back, we keep putting him in the mental hospital.
I have wondered about that one. Well, Jesus has always been a subscription. You're supposed to have to go every Sunday to renew it.
Mm.
And pay 10% of your income.
Well, there was that one time we put him in Guantanamo Bay. It's a
Yep.
dark matter. Or 25.
Well, if you're supposed to pay 10% of your income, when I was homeless but still had bills, I had a negative income. So shouldn't I have been getting money from the church?
Yep.
I saved 10% on I gave myself a 10% raise by switching to atheism. Yeah, I also think it's unfair people tell me I don't believe in a higher power. As a math and computer science teacher, I believe in higher powers for all real numbers.
So does that mean if I go to AA, I could just tell them that I believe in 5 to the fifth power or something like that, and that's my higher power?
I think they'd probably accept something like the Tao or something like that. It doesn't have to be a god, but
they'll accept anything, even like a comb or something.
Oh, really? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a psychological. It's a. Well, you would know better. No, sorry. I keep thinking. Sorry, your background's legal, but I keep thinking that would involve more psychology than my god as a computer science person.
Well, I believe in tarragons, which is a shape with 10 to the 17th shape with 1 times 10 to the 17th sides.
My favorite thing is the apologist who said there was a 1 in 10 to the negative 70th chance of something happened. Probability of something happening. It's like you either meant 10 to the negative 70th, or you don't know how negative exponents work.
Look, just pray to my screwdriver. It wasn't statistically insignificant, but it did answer more prayers than God.
I've heard more praying.
Cats. They at least have proven they exist. That's more than any god did for me for all the years I searched.
I've heard praying to Joe Pesci had the same success rate.
Yep.
And
well, that
those
was
of
back in the 80s.
Well, it's a George Carlin clip, so.
Was it from George Carlin?
Yeah.
Okay, they also used it on a Saturday Night Live routine in the 80s. Back when Saturday Night Live was worth watching.
Yeah, Joe Pesci, because he seems like a guy who can get things done. Okay. Oh, I came across this thing on Facebook. It says, my daughter asked me why a man was wearing a dress. I told her because some men like to wear dresses. She said maybe he'd like a purple one. See, it's not that hard. I suppose for a small child that's not too bad, but I think we could refine that a little bit better.
How can you find that better than a purple dress?
I don't know. Maybe it's
man.
the wrong shade of purple.
You know, if this is supposed to reference to trans individual, maybe not man wearing a dress.
Yeah.
Well, it could have been a drag queen or.
Yeah, that's true. But judging by the comments that were associated with it,
yeah. Well, if you're talking like a 5 or 6 year old kid, that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, like I said, for a small child, I can see that working.
Yeah.
Listen, I am pretty sure if Cthulhu were on the ticket, I would vote for him over Trump.
Well, at least he would end the world faster, so we wouldn't suffer as long.
Yeah, and at least we wouldn't get this half-hearted attempt at destruction. He'd put all his... He'd give it his all.
When I was at the doctor this morning, when they drew blood, The woman doing it even found me a purple purple wrap for the Band-Aid.
Oh, that was nice.
What, should I start asking for bandages with dolphins on them? I'll have to start bringing my own and see if they do that.
Well, they might give you a sticker with a dolphin if you're a good girl.
What?
If you're a brave girl when you take the injection, they might give you a sticker with a dolphin.
I always have to look away when they stick a needle in me because I think I'm gonna flinch if otherwise.
Yeah, I always look away, but I really hate it when they feel the need to count. I get that some people like to know when it's going to hit, but it's like, I'm going to look away. I don't need to know when you're about to do this.
It doesn't bother me.
It's not the blood or anything. I'd probably be okay with it, but it's just I don't want to, have that involuntary movement as they're sticking me with something.
It's just a psychological thing for me. It's like, if you're going to count, letting me know you're going to poke me, it's going to make me nervous.
Well, what I should really do is tell you to count to 5 and stick it on 3.
But I also accept some people want to know that.
Well, was apparently quite good at giving insulin shots. My mom was showing me how to do it just in case I had to do it, when she was like, in a situation. It's like, okay, stick it right here. I did it. It's like, right there. Like, I already did it. You did?
Oh, actually, I'm kind of surprised. All right, we did have to go through training. We did have using EpiPens as part of our training.
Well,
the human trauma. Sorry, go ahead, Purple.
Go ahead, Granny.
The human Tommy said, "Yeah, sick of half ass. I need whole ass."
Yeah.
There's a character in Red Dead Redemption. He's a French painter that says, "I am a whole ass."
Well, I found the trick is instead of putting the needle in and then depressing the thing, you put the needle in, use the pressure of putting it in to depress it. That speeds up the process a lot more, and you don't feel it as much.
Well, I've been injecting myself with estrogen for a while now, but
yeah, well, I do my weekly injections. Just the one for drawing blood is a much larger needle, so I still tend to flinch.
Aren't you in danger of releasing what's in the needle before the needle is ready?
No, it's once you're pressing it in already. So it's already in by the time you're putting pressure on the plunger.
Okay.
Well, that's why I didn't have any problem with doing the injections myself. Because for my late fiance, I was doing her insulin injections for years. And, if I could stab somebody else with it, I've got no problem doing it to myself.
I just wish the patches had worked for me.
Same. I had the problem. They started me with the patches, but they never stayed on. I'd put the patch on, and the next morning it would be stuck to my blanket.
And after a certain age, she was worried about blood clots. She said, it's like, well, why? You can switch over to injections. There's less of a risk.
Yeah, I had the same thing, that they were saying that because of my age, they were worried about the chance of blood clots.
Well, I think she thought I was more sedentary than I actually am, but I still need to get more exercise because
I still move around a fair bit, but I actually need to make a point of doing a regular exercise routine.
Hear about these rape accusations on Graham Plattner?
Not surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so disappointing. Do you think he'll withdraw?
Quite possibly. I am hearing rumbles that he will.
I almost said pull out, and then I realized that had anyone
Yeah.
didn't intend.
He did make a statement about something like spending more time with his family. So that sounded like he's planning to.
Yeah, he's denying the accusations, but apparently he does have some receipts on this.
Yeah, well, he needs a way that he can, drop out of the running without, and still save face. So, although there is a deadline, it's like, by like the 15th of the month or something, if he doesn't take his name off the ticket, they won't be able to put someone else there.
Right.
That might be a
Right.
concern.
Yeah, that's exactly the concern.
But the
And
fact
do
that
they
he
have
also
someone-
got soundly trounced in the primary, I'm sure that didn't help either. I hope that the Democrats will correctly identify the trend that the corporate candidates are getting soundly trounced by the actual younger progressive.
Oh, they'll learn a lesson on that. This not the right one.
Well, I just hope they figure it out in time for the midterms, because unfortunately that was, with deciding to cancel the primary so Bernie couldn't run, they proved they were more concerned with maintaining the status quo than they were with actually winning the election.
Well, I imagine what they'll probably do is learn in that they can just give talking point and lip service to the progressive stuff and then not do anything once they get in office.
Yeah, well, see, that's not going to work this time, because not only do they have to say they have a plan, if they don't actually show progress before the next presidential election, they'll lose that one. So, they're going to have 2 years in which they actually have to do something that helps the average American.
Oh, another Trump project, it blows up in his face.
Which one is it this time?
The Meridian in Hill Park Fountain, or Malcolm X Fountain. Apparently, they been doing renovations on it thanks to Trump, and the water is coming out sort of a shit orange brown.
Well, he has succeeded at what he intended to do with this presidency, which is he made a great deal of money for himself and his family. So
Yeah.
he has accomplished his goal. We are let him be done with us. Let him decide that he's had enough and let him resign.
Well, but his ego is going to let him resign, because it's not just the money. He's after the power and admiration.
That's true.
Are we still on Graham Plattner?
I'm really hoping for something else, but I'm not going to say it.
No, we're on Trump, but
No, we are not on him. We're talking about him.
Yeah. Here's his latest project fuck up.
Hey guys, at Meridian Hill Park, which is the park in Washington, D.C. that Donald Trump keeps bragging he made better, the water is now orange, and you can't see through it. It's not clear what the hell's going on. Like, that's what the water is supposed to look like, see-through, like Greek Aegean. That's what it did look like. Now it's orange and gunky and disgusting and not clear what the hell's going on. I wonder if it's algae. I don't know whether algae can be orange. Let's take a walk around and see. And here we go a little further up. This entire cascade of water has been...
Now, for a little bit of context, this fountain hasn't been running since 2019, so it's probably they think it's probably sediment and maybe rust. He does mention rust in this.
yeah,
okay, so
for several years with probably rusty pipes.
Yeah.
So it should clear out eventually, I think.
Yeah, probably should clear out.
destroyed. Bright orange, disgusting, cascading all the way down, so you can see what it's supposed to be like.
But I wouldn't call it bright orange.
Up to the top. And yet another shot.
Yeah, I'd say it's more of an orange brown.
I mean, it kind of looks like a river does after like a heavy rain,
Yeah.
like the river here or the Susquehanna back home.
Yeah, so
Well,
I imagine.
I was thinking just seeing it that the Iron River in Michigan, after a heavy storm, literally will run, red or orange just because of the high ore content in the ground.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's probably rust in the pipes.
orange water, and actually Sad Bird was kind of pecking at the water, which is grossing me out a little bit. I mean, look at this, guys. It's just, I don't know whether it's rust coming from the pipes or what. This is horrible. Let's finally go all the way up and see the water.
It's just, after the whole reflecting pond, now this, with all of his projects.
Honestly, I think a lot of these projects are just staffers giving Trump something to do to keep him out of the way.
Probably.
The top.
Yeah.
Honestly, the water at the top is turning colors too. The water at the top is turning green. It's turning yellow-green. So it's either algae. Oh yeah. Look at the sides. Look at the sides.
Yeah, no, there might be a little bit of algae in this part here, by the looks of it.
Yeah. Well, again, if it had been shut down for some time, that was probably growing in the pipes.
Yeah, we're just in this section of it.
Well, seems the algae problem's a little more prevalent than we thought. Must have been Antifa. Yeah. The good news, the side fountains are on. The bad news, they're orange too. Maybe it's rust in the pipes. Let's find out from the Park Service.
No, we won't find out from the Park Service because Trump has cut their staffing to the point that they don't have time to look into it.
Yeah, really.
You have to wonder how long it's going to take to build back everything.
Yeah, I think we should charge Trump's family for all the restoration, and that needs to be done.
Maybe they colored it to look like Trump.
We should force them to sell their crypto.
Yeah, I was wondering if Trump couldn't get sued for defacing national monuments.
Well, apparently Trump's 250 fare turned out to be money wiring fraud, or apparently, supposedly.
Yeah.
You mean Trump did something that was corrupt?
I know that's impossible. Well, apparently, what happened was they had one thing set up for sending funds to this thing, and he set up something very similar sounding, and so when people asked for where could send donations, he'd give them the other thing.
And I do have to admit, he did throw an awesome Pride celebration on the White House lawn. I love that. I love that there's been memes going around suggesting that Donald Trump has come out of the closet.
What was the Pride celebration on the White House lawn?
The one where he had half-naked men fighting each other.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, he has been talking about men quite a lot lately.
Yeah, the joke is that he's come out as bi. Or his dementia has gotten to the point where his bisexuality is no longer hidden.
Well, he needs to have some relief because it's obvious his wife doesn't want him to touch her.
Well, it would explain in the blowjob from Bubba.
I was thinking he's too old for that anyway.
I mean, whoever thought Donald Trump would be the second most famous to give Bill Clinton a blowjob?
Yeah.
Well, I keep imagining George W. dancing around and screaming, "I'm not the worst president in history."
He wasn't even the worst president in history when he was there. He wasn't great, but
I still think Hoover might have him outdone.
Maybe the dumbest up until now.
Yeah, he is the dumbest.
Well, Roosevelt pulled some shady stuff, but he pushed through some good things. So,
which one?
Theodore Roosevelt.
So we do have two Roosevelts.
Yeah.
Yes, and
one of the best stunts he pulled was for military spending. That to show how strong America was, he wanted to send the Navy on round the world cruise.
Yeah, and that's what the White Fleet was about.
Yeah. Well, Congress said that was too expensive, only sent half of them. Instead, he sent the whole Navy halfway around the world. And when they were docked in China, he said, okay, give me the rest of the money to bring them home.
Well, I haven't been able to confirm it, but apparently Trump's mention of the U.S. is losing to Belgium in the FIFA Cup is there's always next year.
I heard someone suggest that Belgium needs to watch out that Trump might declare war on them because of the game.
Oh yeah, so it was all rigged, obviously.
Yep. Because everyone knows the United States really won that game.
All right. As someone who's watched the U.S. men's team fumble things for a long time, I'm going to force this radical theory. Belgium just has a better team.
Well, Trump just needs to call the governor of Georgia and ask him to find 3 more goals. I mean, that's all he needs. He just needs 3 more goals.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that he hasn't called one of his friends at FIFA and had them adjust the score.
Well, the whole thing started with him trying to, like... I was walking in a meme earlier. It's like, you Americans don't understand football. Trump goes to the corrupt FIFA president to make a deal. And Europeans are like, no, not like that. Because FIFA has had its own scandals.
Oh, yeah. FIFA has been regarded as the most corrupt agency in the world for some time.
But look on the bright side. Trump has started more wars than any other FIFA Peace Prize winner.
Yeah.
Ooh, excuse me.
And I even saw some reports from the CBC in Canada that was it Quebec? I forget which city that the main thing was in, but basically they're regretting having done it because for all the promises about it boosting the local economy, basically they directed everyone to the corporate sponsors and screwed all the local businesses.
Mm. Well, I need to get back to work, but thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Thanks for coming on.
Anytime, Granny.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you next weekend.
Okay.
This weekend.
Molly is dreaming. I see her legs twitching.
This weekend.
Yep, this coming weekend. Oh.
No, I've never seen a thing a dream like that, but I have seen dogs move in their sleep like that.
She also sometimes barks in her sleep. Yeah, she sometimes barks in her sleep.
Oh, I see Ethan sleep like that a lot. That his paws will be twitching while he's sleeping, like he's running after something.
Yeah, one of my sister's dog, who was an American foxhound, so she kind of like sleep bayed because hounds don't necessarily bark. They have. You could hear like because more like woo sound, and you could hear like this like kind of muted woo, and you knew she was dreaming.
You know, you should record it, send it in to some paranormal investigators, and tell them that you're hearing this weird sound at night.
The dog died
Oh,
9 years ago now.
Sorry.
Judging by her paws, it looks like she's digging.
She was 15 years old, though, which is about the standard lifespan.
Yeah.
Is at the long end of a standard lifespan for a foxhound. She was adorable. Yeah. She was a great dog, though.
I was actually surprised when I first found out that there's generally a correlation between the larger the dog, the shorter the lifespan.
Oh, yes, I also came across this thing, archivegenocide.com. It's very graphic, by the way. It's kind of a warning if you do want to go check it out. But it's has a bunch of documented videos and photos of Israel's genocide.
Oh,
It's
And I should have muted myself for that one. Sorry.
it's archivegenocide.com if you want to go check it out.
yeah. I've been getting a lot of my news from the CBC in Canada, and just what I've seen on their newsreels is, really almost more than I can handle.
It's a lot of stuff that they've been trying to hide.
Yeah. Well, that's why I get a lot of my news from Canada, because I know there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to see on the news in the US.
And has higher standards than you get from the blogs and independent sources. That's what I don't get about the. I think they don't get why the media capture isn't working as well as it has in other countries. And I know they're trying it, but it's like they've tried it and it's not really swaying opinion. I think they're forgetting that independent media exists now.
Yeah, well, the internet is really spoiling it. It may have worked a couple of decades back, but with everybody having access to independent sources on the internet and being able to check news from anywhere in the world, they can't really control the news feed as well as they could before.
She woke up. Did you catch whatever you were digging for there, Molly?
Well, it's her dream, I imagine. If she didn't wake up like upset and looking at you and heading over for pets or something.
I'm gonna guess she was like digging a rabbit out of its burrow or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Buck.
All right.
Oh.
I'll have to decide what camera I want to take on this trip. The last time I went on this trip, it's like the camera overheated because it was so hot out.
Yeah. Yeah, that is going to be a concern, is just the general heat of being out there all day.
Well, I did suggest they set up a tech tent.
Shit, if I was in focus, I'd be haunting my nightmares.
You'd be haunting your own nightmares?
No, it was one of the photos I just came across looking at that archive site.
Oh.
I'm not sure if I want to describe it.
No, I think I can get a decent guess, and probably more than I want to. Yeah, I feel I need to stay informed, so I generally watch, like an hour or so of news at night, but I try to make it not too close to when I'm going to sleep. Not just for the stuff that's going to, really gross me out and distress me, but, just being enraged is not good for falling asleep.
Mm.
Get a camera cord. Oh. Last year I had my GoPro and my cell phone camera, and that was it.
Actually, I did find a good trick with my cell phone, that it definitely will charge faster if you can keep it cooler. So in extreme cases, I've actually put my phone in the refrigerator to charge, and it charges up in like, little over half the time it would take normally. Because when the battery heats up, it doesn't take a charge as well. Actually, I learned that trick when I was long distance with my late fiance. That my phone kept overheating and shutting down while we were talking. So I started wrapping an ice pack and holding it to the back of the phone.
Oh, apparently camera coolers are real things. I thought they were.
Oh, they've got camera coolers? I was just thinking that would be a great invention. You know, if I could make a phone case that had a detachable ice pack that you could just clip onto the back of it so your phone didn't overheat.
Well, these just look like fans. Like there's like, here's one with a magnetic fan you clip on the back of your phone.
Yep.
But yeah, the GoPro overheated and so did my cell phone. Now the GoPro has a tendency to overheat anyway, depending on the settings, just because it's not really designed for long recording.
Yes, I remember back in the day, this woman couldn't seem to forget why her computer kept getting messed up. She only kept her magnet collection on the side of it.
Yeah, I remember hearing that one.
Is this like the back the days when CD players were a big thing? It's like calling up tech support to tell them your cup holder is broken.
Yes, I believe this was during the AOL era.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually had a problem with one of the kids I was raising because they realized that saltines would fit into the slot of the floppy disk.
Oh, jeez.
Actually, my nephew did that once where he was feeding crackers to the VCR.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He was little, and my sister couldn't figure it out until it's like one day she saw my nephew when he was like really little just hold a cracker up to it and like put it in the end of the VCR and go yum.
Yeah, I had a 3-year-old feeding crackers to my Commodore disk drive.
Oh.
At least he didn't try to put the peanut butter ones in there.
Mm.
I gotta step away for a moment.
So is Mitch McConnell alive or dead?
I don't know. So what we have your.
I think you've got me. Oh, sorry. You have got me confused with someone else, period.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. That was the wrong button. Sorry, someone was trying to tell me I said something that's like, yeah, no. I was using text-to-speech on the tablet.
With my camera cooler, and they aren't too expensive. Okay. Let's see what else we have around here. Elon Musk bullshit. Let me skip that. Let's see what's going on the Blue Sky. If Blue Sky wants to load. There it goes. Overly muscular. Her Wonder Woman. Nope. Skipping that. Oh, I'm not really getting very far with finding things.
Listen, we don't want to open the box if it's Schrodinger's turtle because there's still a chance we'll be alive if we open the box. Because he's not dead he's both dead and alive until he's observed.
Well, somebody should definitely charge their phone.
I don't think Mitch McConnell's still alive.
Yeah, he's probably if he is going, he's probably just like full life support and not really anything else going on.
At best he's in a coma.
Yeah. I mean, they might have him physically, running with the old machines, but that's about it. No, I've been hearing some rumblings that they plan to keep him on life support for August until August, so they can pull some shenanigans.
I've heard that too, and it wouldn't put it past me. I've also seen a lot of Weekend at Mitch's memes going around.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah. Actually, that's why I was wondering if they thought there was some value of keeping him technically alive, through the midterms. I'm not sure what the strategy for that would be, but so if he's in the hospital, who is taking care of his duties in Congress?
I'm sure he's technically in the hospital.
Yeah.
Regardless of his living status.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean, that, if he was out for medical purposes and expected to come back, who would be taking care of his duties in Congress?
I think he just wouldn't vote. I don't know how many duties he had, because one, he announced he was going to retire at the end of his term anyway.
Yep.
Two, I think one of the things I've heard that the reason they're trying to delay his death announcement is because they don't want Thomas Massey to run in a special election. And three, I think one of the reasons why is because if McConnell is still alive, there's no chance the razor-thin majority will change. Even if effectively they have one less vote, since McConnell can't vote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but isn't he supposed to be the one leading the party?
No. He stepped down from the House Majority Leader position.
Oh, okay. That's what I was missing.
He hasn't been the Senate Majority Leader for a while. I want to say John Thune is in that role now.
Yeah. Okay. So it's one of those positions where the governor could appoint his replacement, and it's probably not a Democratic governor for him.
No, Kentucky is a Democratic governor.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, they did get Democrat in there in the last election.
But the Senate in Kentucky, the state Senate, is Republican. So they don't want a Democratic governor appointing the senator, because it won't be a Republican.
Right.
Oh, this makes good argument. Half of Netflix audiences stopped watching after the first season of a show, and execs are trying to figure out why. Well, back in the day, TV seasons ran in 20 to 30 episodes, sometimes even more. And if a show was a hit, you could count on another full season the very next year. Now Netflix is creating shows with 10 episodes at the most, oftentimes taking 2 or 3 years before we get a new season. And they're wondering why people aren't watching when a second season is released. We didn't have enough episodes to get emotionally invested, and even if we did, we forgot what happened in the first season, and by the time the second season is released.
Well, I do think the shorter seasons are hurting some of
Yeah.
the streaming offerings. Like Has Been Hotel needs more episodes than it gets.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I can definitely see the point that if you've got a couple of years between the seasons, if people were at all invested in it, all that excitement has been lost before the next season goes out.
And Netflix has also canceled some of its best shows, like Inside Job. Still, I will never let that one go. I love that show. Who doesn't love a show where every conspiracy theory is real except Flat Earth? And the only reason the Flat Earth conspiracy theory exists is because one of the characters started it to annoy his former boss. And the reason the Earth isn't flat is because it's hollow.
Well, one of the things I've gotten into for entertainment online is watching things about the SCP Foundation.
SCP?
Yeah, what? I keep forgetting what the initials are, but basically it's a fictional agency that's there to contain all the paranormal phenomena that shows up on Earth.
Secure, contain, protect.
There we go. Yeah. But it's completely a fanfic thing. It's just people writing their fanfics about these weird creatures and phenomena, you know, and what their abilities are and what's necessary to keep them contained.
I think it started as either a 4chan thing or a creepypasta.
Yeah, from most of what I've read, it's attributed to being that it was a collection of creepypastas. So,
well, I'm glad
it's on a wiki that anybody can contribute to. You know, so now you've got this thing that has evolved to be like fanfics from like hundreds of different people, but all regarding, you know, the same universe.
Yeah, Inside Job was done by the same person who did Gravity Falls.
I would watch that if I had the streaming service.
Maybe you'll have to get Mage to see if you can find it after you're done with Death Note.
Inside Job?
It's not really an anime.
I have to say, Gravity Falls is probably one of the few cartoons I can tolerate it with that animation style.
Well, Inside Job is not the same animation style as Gravity Falls. It's just the same creator.
Yeah.
But it's not anime either, so.
Well, yeah, I know Gravity Falls was hoping to get another season and got chopped off.
Well, at least it wasn't as brutal as what they did to the Owl House.
Yeah.
I do love that Glitch has now picked up the creator, and she's going to do something that is just critical of Disney, called Knights of Guinevere.
Yeah, I saw the pilot for that one. That looks promising.
Well, I don't know if we're going to get to it because they just finished the Amazing Digital Circus.
No. Inside Job looks like it still has roughly similar animation to Gravity Falls. That still got that bean mouth of drawing. Maybe a little bit closer to Futurama.
Does have some of the Futurama voice actors, including John DiMaggio, voice actor for Bender. But yeah, I guess the Glitch is going to start working in the Gaslight District next. And then they did that weird Game Oververse, which...
That actually kind of looks interesting to me.
Well, the problem... I mean, Glitch is like working with independent creators to bring the stories they want to tell to life, which is why. But a lot of times they're short, which is why something like Murder Drones only has like 9 episodes. The Amazing Digital Circus has 9 episodes.
Yeah.
Well, I can also see that, you know, from the producers of, you know, how much are they wanting to invest in producing a few episodes to see if it catches an audience or not.
Well, sometimes you don't. Sometimes the story is just told. Like, I had no problem with Disenchantment only going 5 seasons on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Because the story was told.
Actually, that's something I respected about a lot of Britcoms, that, you know, they had a set run and they knew how it was going to wrap up.
Yeah, you can also find that in anime at times too.
Yeah, and other times in anime you can find like it goes on forever. Like,
Yeah.
let's get to the end of One Piece, please.
You'll basically have three things. You either have one with a set run in where they have the ending planned out. Death Note is actually one of them. You have those that just go on forever, or such as One Piece. Yes, and then you have
And
the
Dragon
anime.
Ball.
Yeah. Well,
Actually, I guess Dragon Ball Z keeps getting rebooted. I think
yeah,
it does
it's
end
more
at
of a
several points.
that one's more of a reboot. And then you have the ones that are basically commercials for the manga.
I don't know. Anime. I don't know. Anime. I don't know. Some animes can be fun. It's usually badly written, but occasionally, but I don't know. Sometimes
Well,
it's just mindless fun. Sometimes it's written well.
Yeah,
I've
I
heard quite
think
a few of them be
not,
well written.
I really did not, get into anime until Mage started picking some out for us. So
And sometimes it's incredibly silly, like something I watched called The Devil's a Part-Timer.
I couldn't get into that one.
Well, first of all, the devil ends up on Earth and works for McDonald's.
Yeah, I know the plot. I tried
It's
watching
just-
it. I couldn't get into it.
It's just,
I'm going to be trying to give Outbreak Company a third try. I still haven't been able to get past how obnoxious the Empress is in that.
that's done it for me for a number of shows that if one character was just too annoying, I couldn't manage to watch it.
do you have Rurouni Kenshin?
What?
It's another anime called Rurouni Kenshin.
Oh.
It's semi-historical.
Now, I wasn't speaking specifically about anime.
Oh, I haven't watched all of it. I have seen parts of that one.
It's not very historical, but it's like takes place in like I want to say 1880s Japan.
It's an interesting character. I should really go back and try and rewatch that one all the way through. Basically, he's like this really good swordsman, and so to avoid killing people, he has a reverse blade, reverse-edged sword.
It's basically his redemption arc, or
Yeah,
his attempt to achieve redemption.
yeah. It was pretty good from the episodes I saw, but I never got through all of it.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's just because there's a lot of anime garbage in anime.
I don't know. Some of the anime garbage, I think, is better than some of the Western in quality.
No, I mean, just like, oh, I need to get. I can't stand that. Or the fact that they announce their attacks before they do them. Which I guess is explained in Naruto, but it makes no sense in any of them.
Well, there are
In
some
most of
animes
them.
that make fun of that.
Yeah, they should be, because I think we're coming up from the Western mindset, because you all remember the Indiana Jones scene where like this fancy sword wielder comes up and is like swinging the swords all around trying to impress Indiana Jones. And he's just like takes his pistol out, shoots him.
No, the only reason why they did that scene like that was because he was having stomach issues at the time.
But the scene made more sense that way.
True, it was a
And
good
two,
scene.
It's very Indiana Jones to do it that way. It's like, I'm not putting up with this. Yeah, you're flashy, but I've got a gun.
It was a good scene, I'll give you that much. Despite, for whatever reason, they changed it.
Imagine. See, Discworld's death was an interesting character. And of course, there's a Discworld book called Thief of Time, where someone pointed out, like, one of the characters is like a martial artist who can do like weird things because he's like times son. But in one of the passages, you see him doing the stance of coyote where he goes off a building. And then I was reading somewhere, it's like, I didn't realize why it was called that until I saw a Roadrunner cartoon. Because the stance of the coyote is where he pauses himself in midair.
Well, in Despicable Me, they called it out too, in the second one.
Well, Despicable...
Because the first one, he was always announcing it before he fired his weapon. So in the second one, the woman corrected him and said that, no, you don't announce it until after you fired the weapon.
And it's hit. It's like that evil overlord list. It's like, death is not too good for my enemies.
Yeah.
I will hardcode every file to be 1.60 megabytes. Just so it can't be put on a floppy disk.
That one doesn't quite work anymore nowadays.
Believe it or not, floppy disks are still in use for really weird applications, but like I think Boeing updates have to be on floppy disk.
Oh yes, and all the Republicans trying to grandstand, and then the whole Graham Plattner thing. You guys can fuck off. If we're telling our alleged rapist is to step down, and you put your alleged rapist is president.
Yeah. Well,
Alleged, he's been...
No, excuse me, convicted rapist.
He hasn't been convicted because it wasn't a criminal court, but he was adjudicated.
Found liable for
He was
sexual
found
abuse.
liable for sexual assault.
Which is only a technicality in New York, by the way.
I mean, he's already a convicted felon. That's not going to change.
Yes, he's a fraudulent felon rapist. And yes, all of that applies to him.
Well, I do
legally.
think we need to tack something on that says that a convicted felon cannot run for federal office.
After this nightmare is over, a lot of laws are going to have to change, or we're going to get another Trump eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one of the things we're going to have to start doing is making presidents take cognitive fitness tests before they run for office, and periodically. We're also going to have to make sure they can pass a top secret security clearance check before they run.
Yeah.
Maybe they should also be filmed taking the cognitive test so they can't lie about it.
That would run into some privacy issues, I think, in HIPAA, but...
Maybe.
Yeah. One of the problems you'd run into with the cognitive test, though, is who gets to pick the doctor who's assessing it.
Well, that should be an independent agency, but...
Yep. Well, the Supreme Court just ruled there are no independent agencies. They're all under the president.
And Supreme Court really should have thought about that more. But the Supreme Court has been rubber stamping a lot of the stuff Trump has been doing, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, but see, the Supreme Court can protect itself because even if we get a Democratic president, they've already shown that previous precedent has absolutely no bearing on future rulings.
Yeah, I don't think they really thought that one through, because that means as soon as they're off the court, it's like Roe v. Wade is going to be back.
Yeah, but they're figuring that they're still going to have control of it for the next 30 years.
I wouldn't be so sure about that, but...
Well, unless they start dropping off.
Honestly, I think the next Democratic president is going to try to pack the court.
Yeah.
That might be the only answer at the moment. Hate to say it. I mean, I don't really care for that solution, but...
I don't think it's a good idea, but...
No, actually, one encouraging idea is it has been pointed out that at least 3 of the current Supreme Court justices could be impeached because of taking favors that were designed
Okay,
to
so-
influence them.
Yeah, they shouldn't be allowed to take. They shouldn't be allowed to take gifts from people who have cases before the court. That should have been.
Yeah. So if the Democrats get control of Congress, I wonder what the procedure is to impeach one of them.
Well, that's set out in the Constitution.
I know it's spelled out. I just don't know what all is involved with it.
I think it's the same as it is for the president. The House basically, the impeachment is the indictment saying charges can move forward, and the Senate convicts.
Yeah, but even with a Democratic controlled situation, are they going to be too spineless not to do it?
They may not have the numbers in the Senate to do it.
Well, again, excuse me.
I mean, Trump has been impeached twice. That's not going away.
Yeah, if we can get some more progressive people in.
And one of the reasons he wasn't convicted was Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
Backrooms wouldn't be the only thing that started as fanfic. Twilight started as Grey. 50 Shades of Grey was Twilight fan fiction.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey. Yeah, it was about the quality of fan fiction.
And Twilight wasn't much better.
Yeah.
We're going to need to do a lot of things I don't think are going to happen. Like, we need to convict the Trump family.
Yeah.
I don't think New York's going to let him go away. I think Trump's going to be drugged before a court again if he's still alive.
Well, even if Donald Trump doesn't get pulled into court, I think they've got enough stuff to pull his sons in.
And they don't have immunity.
Yep.
Plus, this might be the time to try it because Trump is not popular. He doesn't... Because MAGA has been declining. I don't know. I just hope cholesterol takes its course. Or, sadly, frontotemporal dementia, once it's diagnosed, has a...
Well, I think Melania has been expecting McDonald's to kill him since the day they got married.
I get nothing from Melania that even suggests she wants to be a first lady.
Oh, no, she doesn't. She's another one. I think that she should be brought up on charges of destroying a national monument when she tore out the Rose Garden.
I have to wonder if that was her, or if that was Trump blaming things on her. Because I can't see Melania turning the White House Rose Garden into like a Panera backyard. Because we know Melania doesn't spend a lot of time at the White House.
Well, yeah, but she did pick the decorations for the White House Christmas.
We also know that Trump torn down the east wing of the White House where offices would be. I mean, does she get any money for being the first lady? I would think that's not actually a paid position.
I don't know, but no, I didn't think it was a paid position, but, it's just kind of the celebrity status that she gets with it.
I mean, she was guaranteed to have some celebrity status just for being married to Donald Trump.
Let's see here. Access to publicly funded staffing. Security details.
security details.
That makes sense.
Yeah, security details would make sense.
Previously, First Ladies had lifetime Secret Service protection. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah, I do think that term limits for Supreme Court justices is something we should get in there.
I think we need. Well, I also think we need ethics codes for Supreme Court justices. Like, definitely don't take bribes.
Yeah.
And maybe, if Clarence Thomas was kind of right, you need to pay them enough so there isn't as much of a temptation. And maybe $300,000 for that high position isn't enough. But $1 million a year, no.
Again, for some of these rich assholes, there's no such thing as enough.
How old is Clarence Thomas? He wasn't young when he started.
Yeah.
And I know John Oliver offered to give him a motor coach and $1 million a year to resign.
Why can't somebody give me that deal? That was my ideal retirement. I'd just like to have, a nice camper that I could just drive around the country and see all the museums.
He's
That's
78
how
years
I'd
old.
like to retire. That way I could go and I could spend at least a full week just at the Smithsonian.
And you could make meth.
Nah, I don't want to
to.
get into the hard drugs. But I really think that the proper way to do the Smithsonian Museum is to have it a full day for each building.
I have to wonder how RV manufacturers felt about Breaking Bad.
I don't know, probably boosted their sales.
Well, I mean, the businesses don't care who they sell to as long as they sell. But
Yep.
I can't imagine the independent entrepreneur for recreational pharmaceuticals was the target market they were going for. And I don't know, is it a Winnebago in Breaking Bad?
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
think
I
it
know.
was from the look of it, but I don't really know for sure. I didn't really watch the show.
Well, it's one. I don't know. It was popular, but you weren't the main character. I was gonna say it's like I wanted the main character to just die violently by the end. He had earned it.
Yeah, a friend of mine tried to get me into it, and I just, nah. There's a good question. Why doesn't the emolument clause apply to federal or apply to SCOTUS judges since it applies to all federal workers?
Honestly, I think if they were still practicing law, there was enough to get them disbarred. And I think once you're disbarred, it should be that you can't be a judge anymore. But I'm
I
also
would
pretty
think
sure
so.
being a judge isn't actually a requirement to be on the Supreme Court. It's just we kind of want people who understand the law to interpret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice if we at least had people who had read the Constitution interpreting it. But I guess that's the job of the attorneys, is to explain the law to the judges. Explain sections of law and why it should apply to what they're talking about at the moment. But the current Supreme Court, unfortunately, has reached the point that we don't care if that was our ruling last year. That same section doesn't apply this year.
Well, they have been remarkably inconsistent.
Yeah. People were making a big deal about them ruling against Trump on the birthright citizenship, and I have to kind of think that that was them giving something to the media that they could go on about Trump being defeated while they ruled in favor of him on a bunch of more important stuff.
Well, that one's explicitly spelled out in the Constitution. Trump should have known he was going to lose that one. I mean, yes, it's an amendment, but
yeah. They didn't seem to care whether or not the Constitution applied to other things. So,
Yeah, really.
well, they all claim to be originalists, so if something is spelled out like that, they can't say no.
Yeah.
Which is why there have been a few surprising rulings about Indian treaties, essentially giving, did I say Indian?
yeah.
Native American treaties.
Yeah.
Where they essentially gave back most of Oklahoma to, I believe, the Creek Indians. Why do I keep using that word? The Creek tribe.
Well, if you want, you can give Native American Indians. Well, that's acceptable.
I do
Or
like
just-
the Canadian term of First Nations.
That's more of a Canadian thing. Yeah.
It is. It's not
Just like
used in
Canadian.
the US, but I just like the term.
I mean, I could also just refer to the tribes by their tribe name, like the Iroquois.
Yeah, that's actually the biggest preferred way of referring. But if you have a generalized term, usually
Yeah.
The Navajo, the Lakota, but
I usually
That's
use
it.
either. Yeah, I usually use this Native American or Indigenous. So I have slipped up into just Indian before, so it's not.
it's like, well, and I don't think it's not like the same thing. Like, there's a certain word that I think we all used when we were younger, and then awareness came about the Romani people, and and people went out, oh, that word's racist. It's like, just because we never thought about it, it's like,
Yeah.
Interesting enough, not every Romani actually takes offense to that, and some actually prefer it. It's not the biggest percentage of them. Actually, the biggest percent does prefer Romani.
well, I mean,
But if you were to say it's not as big of an issue.
it's not
as
like
made out to
when,
be.
like back in the 90s, everyone started calling a certain group African Americans, and there was some pushback, and they said, actually, no, we prefer to be called black.
Yeah. Even though last month somebody blocked me for using the word black.
Well, it's not universal, so.
Yeah, but I'm like, I was engaged to a black woman. That's what she and her friends told me to call them.
And you have the whole Latinx thing, in which most Latin people either didn't know about, and the ones who did know about it, most of them didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, I also had a friend who didn't like the term African American because he was very dark skinned, but all of his ancestry was Caribbean.
Yeah, there was. I have seen people that have issue. Yeah, I have seen people with that issue with African American.
And of course, I prefer the term Saltine American.
That's what my fiance's best friend always called me.
Saltine American.
Saltine. She called me Saltine because she said I was the whitest cracker she ever knew.
Oh, you are from Wisconsin. Wisconsin.
More than that, I'm of
Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm of Nordic heritage, so in the winter I'll blend in with the snowbanks. Oh, got myself a bad sunburn last weekend though.
Oh,
Well, I spend most of my time avoiding the sun. So even though I tried to stay in the shade as much as possible, I still got pretty red. And it was really hurting. I couldn't sleep on my side when I got back because, putting pressure on either shoulder was hurting too much.
ouch.
And as someone, actually, that is a great thing about the. I don't know. Is anyone else encountering this on the internet where people just call you Jewish as some kind of insult?
I haven't run into that, but then again, I've lost most of my Yiddish by this time.
Well, I also don't look. I don't get it. It's like, where's this coming from? I don't even look like.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in a heavily Jewish community, so just kind of by osmosis, I picked up some of the Yiddish and some of the culture, but it's been so long, I've forgotten all that stuff.
I mean, it's not even an insult, but it's like, why? How are they coming up with this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's no more insulting than calling me Catholic.
But honestly, I think for a while, I posted a stand-up clip, and I think it was getting brigaded. So it was on Instagram, so I just started restricting people liberally. So because restrict works more like mute.
Yeah.
They can still post it, but other people won't see it.
Yeah, I am being forced to go back to Facebook as much as I don't want to.
Well, I'm using Instagram, but not.
Huh?
This is on Instagram, which is still owned by Facebook.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought. That was pretty much all the same thing now that Facebook had bought Instagram. But just, people in my family wanting to keep touch with me, and
that's what I use Facebook for.
Yeah. I don't want to give them my personal information because now I understand that they expect you to send a copy of your ID to open an account. And it's like, yeah, my driver's license is really more information than I want to give them.
Oh, Facebook is like, oh, we're tied to real people. It's like, okay, yes, but you can still open like business accounts and that aren't tied to a real person.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think Facebook should probably drop that one by now, but
well, I'm sure the business accounts are much more profitable.
Well, you can have like a personal account and then just have a business page.
Yeah, that's one of the mistakes I made with my old account. That under my personal account, I opened a page under Purple Rhymes with Orange. So that will still link me back, and people could dox me that way from my dead name, but there's nothing I can do about it because they won't even let me get in there to delete it.
Well, I don't have any ideas for you on that one, so.
Well, that would be another, thing that Facebook could do. That, if an account has been inactive more than 5 years, couldn't they at least, make it so it's not public if they don't delete it?
No idea. I know a lot of times people leave like old relatives' Facebook pages up just as like a memorial for the person, but
yeah, they actually do have an archival thing specifically for that as well.
Yeah. And that's fine, if somebody in the family wants to do that.
Like I think my Aunt Brenda was doing that for my Uncle Jim for a while. Honestly, I don't think there's too many of the aunts and uncles left on that side. I think Aunt Betty is the only one, and she's not blood. But she's been living in Florida.
Yeah.
And by living, I mean she has residence there and she goes on cruises as much as she can.
Well, for me, a lot of it was before that Sloth Girl still had used Facebook regularly. So I kind of, got the family news that way. So, yeah, now a bunch of my nieces and nephews, want me to be on there just so that they could basically see that I'm still alive once every couple of months.
I personally love it when my students are like, Ms. Landis, add me on Facebook. I'm like, no. It's like maybe a couple years after you graduate, talk to me then.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I don't need my family to know that this account exists. I don't really need them watching my live streams.
They might already know. It's hard to tell. Depends on how interested they are in knowing what you're doing.
Yeah, no, I don't think any of them really have bothered to follow it up. But that's, more like my immediate family, I don't think is bothered. Some of my nieces and nephews, yeah, they might actually take the gumption to look it up.
Besides, you have no authority over them, so for the most part, they're probably not that interested in what your life is like outside of when they interact with you.
Yeah.
It's not like any of us have like a huge following or anything.
Well, part of the thing that's come up is that a number of them have had their kids diagnosed as autistic. So, they think that I'm going to be their reference source for everything autistic.
Because that's the way that works. Well, might be a good jumping off point. I don't know.
It'll be a good start for reconnecting with a bunch of them.
Yeah, let's see. I should get up to 12.8K followers on Clapper soon. Goal was to get to 14K by September.
Well, are you going to have some kind of celebration for having reached 128?
If I ever go back to doing the Mad Computer Scientist, the next one will be at 512.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense.
Then 1024.
Hear about this story?
I've heard.
What's this? A bunch of ICE agents on a bus?
It's someone saying this black woman looks more comfortable around a bunch of neo-Nazis than. And I've heard people say this picture deserves a Pulitzer. It's like, this looks like a badly taken cell phone photo.
I bet this is one of the most uncomfortable little train ride that she ever took.
Yeah.
And she does not look happy.
No.
Yeah, I bet she's very much afraid of somebody following her when she gets off.
Yeah, I would be.
Oh.
Yeah, I still don't see how it's worth a Pulitzer.
It's not a bad photo for capturing what's going on in America.
But it's not a good picture though either.
No, not worth a Pulitzer, but it would definitely be a picture that Life magazine would have published.
I definitely consider it a historic picture.
Yeah. Let's get a copy of it in the Trump Presidential Library.
You mean the Epstein Memorial Library?
Yeah. Well, and that Trump's managing to get a free jet out of the deal. But he gets to keep what is now being Air Force One.
And apparently we're already memeing that image.
A Romulan? Yeah, that's a Romulan bunch of Klingons. I don't know. That doesn't quite look as threatening, though.
No, it doesn't.
No. Well, honestly, I would feel safer among a bunch of Klingons than I would a bunch of ICE agents.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
We know they're all Star Trek cosplayers, so they're probably not right wing.
Well, the Klingons at least have honor.
Yeah. Ah. Still haven't figured out what my allergies are.
Cheese? Wisconsin?
Yeah, no, that wouldn't make sense. I do eat great amounts of cheese. But they keep doing the allergy tests on me and they keep coming up empty. And I'm like, if you could tell me I'm allergic to cats and sawdust, that would explain everything. Because there's never a day that I'm not around at least one and usually both of those.
Some allergies, like dust mite allergies, are fairly common in most humans, though.
Yeah. Well, I know definitely mold is one of them.
And it could just be something that's not common. Like, I swear there's something in Indiana that I'm allergic to that is not in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, I try to keep track of that, like weather conditions and things, and see if I can find a difference from one day to another.
Well, I mean, I have sinus issues, and that does change with the weather.
Yeah.
But that's not an allergy.
No, yeah, I have that too. The sinus issues are a separate thing. But yeah, I can kind of tell when a storm is coming on just because of the air pressure changes.
Cold weather will trigger your allergy-like symptoms in me.
Yeah, I do have a problem with that. But mostly in the fall, it's like, yeah, when the leaves are blowing around and stirring up the leaf mold. That's definitely one of the worst times for me.
I have sneezing fits that I didn't have in Pennsylvania, so it's got to be something. It's not cats, because I had cats back in Pennsylvania. So
yeah, it could also be a local thing, like from one of the industries that's more in that region now.
Or, I mean, the plants aren't all the same either, so it could just be a different plant.
Yeah. Yeah, a different species of something when it's letting off its pollen.
Or it could be allergic to meth.
Well, I could be allergic to stupidity. I'm living in a Republican district, so.
Well, I do have an intolerance for stupidity, but... I was going to say, where I live now is kind of weird. It's a college town that very much doesn't want to be.
Okay. Well, how about if we wrap it up here for today? I've still got to do stuff to get ready for my next trip.
Yeah, I have to go out and get some travel size things.
Yeah, and I'm hoping to sleep for as much of tomorrow as possible so that I'm, alert for the long drive.
All right.
So, Porpoise, you have anything you want to say before we go off?
All right, so if you want to follow me on YouTube, it's The Sinister Porpoise. It hasn't been as active. It's been slightly more active than it has been in years, but it hasn't been that active. I was going to say, depending on... I don't think I'll be coming back, but if things don't go well, it might have to come back just to try to build it back up. But I think everything will be okay. We'll see how that goes. It's just, I think I'll be back to work in fall. It's just a temporary lapse in contract, which happened on a permanent, because they did tell me I'll be back. Anyway, the other channel is Mad Computer Scientist. If you want to follow me on Clapper, it's also at Mad Computer Scientist, all one word. Clapper is an app you can download on your cell phone. It's very similar to TikTok, short form content. No Larry Ellison. Is it Larry Ellison? David Ellison controlling it. And it doesn't do ads. Be excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Mage, what have you been up to lately?
I've just been working on my story. I suppose you're not going to make it for tomorrow's midnight show, since you probably want to rest. So maybe another episode of Dr. Stone, if anybody shows up.
Yeah, I'm definitely not planning to be there tomorrow night because I want to sleep if I can.
It's
And-
basically,
You had said something about maybe doing some shorter format things for your gardening channel.
no, that's actually no, that's something I had done before.
Ah.
I was doing these little things where I try to cram as much information into a few minutes as possible.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I thought you meant you were going to do some more of those to revive that channel.
I probably should do something with it. I was talking to some people at the 4th of July party about that channel, and they seem to be interested. So I might have to consider reviving it. I should really revive my channels anyway, but just been kind of preoccupied with things.
Okay, well, I don't, I'll be out at the Ark Encounter protest this weekend. Other than that,
If all goes well, I will be too.
be back here at the same time next week. And yeah, I think then that's, starting the first Wednesday in August, we'll be going to Friday. So,
All right.
Thanks everybody for coming.
Be gay, do crime.
Bye-bye.